Well, Coasters, it's Bruce here, and today I've got the pleasure of interviewing Patrick Nolan. Now, Patrick's from a pioneer coast family down Haast. He's been a hunter, helicopter operator all his life. And Patrick, first of all, thanks so much for agreeing to have a chat.
No worries, Bruce. Yeah.
Now, what's your full name?
Oh, it's Robert Patrick Nolan.
I always knew it was around the wrong way. So, whereabouts were you born?
I was in Greymouth.
Right, and who were your mum and dad?
Robbie Nolan and Noreen.
Robbie Nolan?
Yeah.
And Noreen, and they lived in Haast, I guess?
Yeah, well Mum was a Kennedy and her family had the taxis in Greymouth.
Right.
And the horse and cart day, and then when the cars come along.
Well, of course, the Kennedy family was super well known in Greymouth.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
that was actually kind of royalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're jumping into big shoes there. So what did your dad do for a living?
Oh, Dad was farming down at Haast. There were 5 brothers, and then they split the farm up. Eddie and Bill, they went over the other side to go farming, and then there was Kevin, Dad, and Des. So they split the farm into 3 parts, which is still really a big farms, you know.
They're all individually, they're all big farms, aren't they?
Yeah,
Even now.
Yeah.
So when you were born in Greymouth.
Yeah.
And congratulations, so was I. What year?
1953.
I thought you were a 53 baby. I'm a 52.
Oh, really?
I'd worked it out.
Yeah.
You're a 53.
Yeah.
So when you came home, when your mum brought you home, where'd you go? Where was your first home?
Went down to the homestead. I was probably about a week or 2 old, and then they of course we had to fly down there then, and the Nolans had 2 planes, which Deers used to fly.
And what, land on the beach or in a?
No, they had an airstrip outside the homestead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
What did your family? How many brothers and sisters did you have?
There were 6 of us.
Good sized family.
Yeah. So,
What did you do for fun when you were kids?
Shooting. Probably mostly. Yeah.
So even out for a shot.
Yeah.
Bring it home. Did you have a nickname when you were growing up?
Pappy.
Pappy.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Oh God, I don't know. Actually, one of the old timers nicknamed me that, and sort of stuck with it. Just the people that knew me well. There's the odd person still calls me that, but.
Oh. Patrick? Where did you attend primary school?
At Haast.
And
First of all, it was the old township for about a year, and then it was moved down to Carter's Beach.
where was the old township?
Well, the old township's on the beach there, where the garage is there, Johnson's garage.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's before Angus Clearing.
It's just you turn south at the crossroads where the hotel was down there a few times.
Yep. Were you a book reader?
Was I what?
Did you read books when you were a kid?
Just cowboy books and comics and that when I was young. But not a lot.
What about high school?
Went to St. Kevin's in Oamaru.
I say you boarded.
Yeah.
It would have been you'd have met many lifelong friends there, I guess.
Oh, I just hated it over there. It was like going to prison for me.
What was? Did you have a favourite? Did you have a favourite subject at school?
Oh, I found probably English the easiest, and then geography.
What about a favourite teacher? Is there a teacher that you can actually remember?
Well, they were brothers. Most of them were brothers.
Yep.
And they had the odd day teachers, a few of them, but probably Brother Murray.
Why did he stick out?
Oh, he's just a nice personality, and
Actually, genuinely wanted you to go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. What school activities did you get into? Did you play sport?
Tennis. Well, I hadn't played tennis before I went over there,
Right.
and had never had a proper game of rugby because there wasn't enough kids for a team. So basically, I had to learn to play rugby and tennis, and that was the two main thing.
Were you any good?
Oh, I thought I was above average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Now, look, how would a close friend have described you as a young adult? You know, what would they have? What sort of personality would they have said you had? Were you outgoing? Were you a rugby? Were you, you know?
Yeah, just probably normal. I wasn't really outgoing. I was just sort of run of the mill.
Did you, like you're growing up in a farm, you're growing up in the remotest place of New Zealand, almost. Was there anything you wanted to be when you grew up?
All I wanted to do was leave school and go into helicopters.
Right from a young age?
Well, you know, when I was at Haast and the primary school where the helicopters used to fly over, that was probably from about 1964 on.
Right.
And I just couldn't wait. You know, I was wishing I was a few years older so I could get out there and get on them.
So in '64, what would they have been? Old Hillers or?
That was Graham Stewart's and then Mal Kane, Worldwide Helicopters.
Right. Oh, is that where it started?
Yeah, well, Tim Wallace, you know, he started off over in Wanaka out there. But, you know, they sort of, from about 64 on, there's, you know, a lot of activity.
So whereabouts, Patrick, where did you go to high school?
In St Kevin's.
Yeah, so that was your high school section, and your primary school was at Haast?
Yeah.
You're brought up in Haast. You know, what was it like? You had no, there was no road there.
Well, there weren't many people there. It was really remote, as you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we could walk, actually we started riding horses, and then going into Cascade with Dad. I did a couple of trips from Akura, but mainly it was from there on a bridge, but still with the flooded rivers and that, none of us could swim.
So tell me, how did you get across the rivers?
Well, a couple of times I know that the horses started swimming, and we were probably 8 or 9 or 10.
On the back, couldn't swim?
Couldn't swim.
Just hanging on for grim death?
Yeah, well, you know, Dad couldn't swim very well either, so it was a huge risk.
Gets me. Of course, the Cascade's a bit of an unforgiving river when it gets going, isn't
it?
Yeah. Patrick, what about your ancestors, the Nolan family? I mean, I've been having a quick squiz, and I can see some of them got married in 1899, and they've been around a long time.
No, I think they went down to Jackson's Bay about 1876 or something, and they offered a plot of land down there.
So 1876?
Yes, I think that was about the year they went to Jackson's Bay.
And I see one of the early family, he was called Patrick as well.
Yeah.
So I guess was that been a family name coming through?
Yeah, he's quite famous because he did a couple of really amazing rescues and got award and Queen's Medal and that. So.
And that's back in early 1900s, is it?
Yeah, he rescued a couple of different people, one out at sea, swum out on his horse, and I think there were 2 people he saved there.
So he swam out on his horse into the sea?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Wow. So learning to ride horses as a kid, did that assist your deer stalking?
Oh yeah, well, you know, of course I shot my first deer when I was about 9, and there were deer everywhere then.
303 Enfield?
No, with 222.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and from then on, some mornings I used to go up the road, bike up the road for a shot before I went to school.
So what did you do with them when you shot them? Into the freezer?
We didn't have a freezer then, we just hung them and hung them. If it was raining, we hung them in the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And mainly to eat. Mainly for food.
Oh yeah, for food. Yeah. It was only later on. Well, when I left school, 69, in '69, I ground shot for a couple of years then before I went on the helicopter.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so Patrick, what you know, you never had a road in there, did you? I mean, it was '65 that the road went through.
It was about 1960 when the road went through over to Otago.
Right.
But we used to have to go across the river with a bulldozer and a car on the back of a trailer to get across.
So the main opening was in 1965?
Yeah, the main one opened in 1965.
Did it make a difference to life in Haast?
Oh yeah, well of course, you know, the hotel was built down there. I'm not sure exactly what year that was built, but that sort of added a lot of social life. But of course, we weren't legally allowed in the hotel till we were 21 then.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that was built by DB in the early '70s when they were building pubs all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the standard DB look about it. Now, Des was your uncle Des. He was an aviator.
Yeah.
So what did he fly?
Well, he flew mainly the Oster, but they had an English plane called a Messenger as well.
How many passengers? Take passengers?
Take four people.
And so you mentioned before he got Queen's Service Medal Awards for bravery.
Yeah, he was an amazing pilot. I don't know whether he sort of. Well, he's had quite a bit of recognition, but you know, he never ever had a pram.
Wow.
So, yeah, and he landed on all those early strips and.
It's all the ones they dug out with a shovel.
Well, the problem was the Oster was really underpowered.
Yeah.
You could land anywhere with it, but taking off, I think it only had about 90 horse or something. It was pretty underpowered. And once he did wipe one of his wheels off, he had quite a heavy load and had something, and we were all outside the homestead. He landed on one wheel and came in and never did any damage to the aircraft. So.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So when you left school and you started work, how long did you work for before you got the chance to grab the collective?
Well, I left school at 16, started ground shooting, and then I used to go out the odd time with when Tony Hawker started in 1971. We used to go up now and again and do a bit of gunning for him.
Yeah.
Because he was sort of my idol, Tony Hawker. I used to go on weekends with him shooting, and he taught me a hell of a lot about hunting. And
pretty famous name too, isn't it? You know, a lot of.
When I was about probably 12, he told me about the facts of life once.
When you're 12?
Well, yeah, because Mum and Dad, you know, your parents never told you then.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it. I said, really?
So what did you learn to fly in from a helicopter point of view?
When did I?
Yeah, which machine did you learn to fly in?
The Heller.
So
I shot my first deer. I shot about 7 deer with Tony Hawker in 1971 down a cascade in the swamp there, and then in 1972 I started. I started with Tim down the Watt Block. I was gunning for him for 3 months down there.
Yeah.
And then I came back and started shooting with Peter Cook for our point down there.
And when did you learn to fly?
Oh, I learned to fly a fixed wing, because then you have to have 200 hours commercial.
Yep.
For your commercial. And I went over to Queenstown and I did 150 hours in 172 in about 2 months, 3 months.
You wouldn't have got out of the sky.
Yeah, and then I did the helicopter side with Larry Larrabee at Macquarie.
Yeah, the 172 would be pretty sluggish.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty nice aircraft.
Yeah, pretty safe anyway. And so then you got into flying 500Cs, 500Ds?
Well, I shot for 6 years from a helicopter, mainly with Howard Smith, but various other pilots I went with as well, and you know, got more scares doing that probably than I ever did flying myself, which was really fantastic experience for going flying. It sort of taught you a lot.
Will people like Howard Smith ever come again? You know, they're quite unique.
Oh, well, it was a unique era. Then a lot of these guys were ex-Piper Cub guys.
Yep.
And when I went flying, a guy called Jimmy came down at Tianao. He was the first helicopter shooter to actually become a pilot.
Okay.
And that was about 1974. He was an incredibly crack shot out of the helicopter, and great guy and great pilot. Unfortunately, he got killed later on, but as far as I know, I was the next helicopter shooter to become a pilot.
And so when did you get into the, did you start in the 300 or did you start?
I started in the 300 for 6 months.
Yeah.
I finished my training up in Wanganui, and I was just doing a few hours to do my flight test, and I got a call from Tim Wallace and Warner Adamson from Southwest Helicopters. They both offered me a job before I had finished my license.
Wow.
And Tim said that I'd be in a 300 for a year, and Warner said that I'd be in the US 300 for 6 months.
Oh, Warner of a B.
Yeah, well, I said to Warner, I'll call you back tomorrow and let you know, and he said, I want to know now. So it was like, he wanted an answer right there and then.
Yeah.
So they offered to actually finish paying for my flying and give me a new helmet and all that.
And so what did Warner had 300s?
No, well, they just had the one 300, and at that stage, James Scott was flying a 500, and they might have had one other one down here. 6 months with Marty, my brother, shooting for me.
Yep.
And we loaded up big time, and I got the 500, and then that's when Toby Clark started. So Toby and I were both flying for the same company down there.
And Toby's still around, is he?
Yeah.
In North Island?
Yeah, North Island, yeah. So we had a hell of a lot of fun. Probably can't repeat a lot of the stories here.
Yeah, well, look, one of the stories that's become a bit legendary was you're getting annoyed with one of your competitors and dumping a whole lot of offal on him. What was the real story there?
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't getting annoyed with him. It was just a prank.
Oh, you just pulled it up?
It's been said that we had a bad feeling, and we actually didn't. But it all started, I guess, at the Haas pub when Tucky and I and a few others rolled the pilot's car over on its side at the car park, and he came out and got in it and went to get it. And
so you rolled his car on its side and left him to it?
Well, he came out of the pub to get in, and it was sitting on its side.
He had to get in.
Yeah. So, it was just a few pranks being played, and we were going to fly Tucky's Morris 1100 out to Oak Bay Island and then rope the doors and boot open and let the seals live in it, but we couldn't get off the ground with it.
Oh.
So anyway, we had having a barbecue, and we just decided to go down and dump some deer offal on them.
And how did that go down?
Well, it was really funny, but I guess it did have consequences, Plus a big fight at the hangar all came down and were going to kill us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that was always.
But you know, it started off as a prank. It wasn't any bad feeling.
And just kind of escalated.
Probably afterwards, but.
So what about funny things that happened? I didn't realise that you'd flown with Tucky.
Oh no, well, Tucky was mucking around doing a bit of gutting and shooting and that, and I didn't have a lot to do with Tucky. Of course, I've known him forever.
Well, trouble follows Tucky. It just follows him. I often, even these days, he sends me a message once every week, generally from Indonesia or Malaysia,
He probably saved. I'm not sure whether he saved James Scott's life or the word is that they were doing a practice auto in the Haas Riverbed.
Right.
And were downwind and ended up rolling up and rolling into the edge of the river and upside. I think James was upside down in the helicopter and Tucky dragged him out. But
so they come along the top, so you drop the power off.
well, I don't know. He just decided to do an auto, but so anyway, Tucky's a real character.
Oh yes, no. Well, the industry was full of them, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was a lot of characters, and Warner was probably one of the biggest characters of the lot.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, so we had a lot of fun down there. He bought a private car, and every time Toby and I went down, if we put him in the air, we beat the hell out of him. He was like a bloody old winded seagull fluffing around, and in the end he wouldn't fly it anymore. He was so scared of us.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And so when did you started flying for what's his name? Holden Station man, James Innes.
What I did, I flew for a couple of years for Southwest Ron Conn.
Oh yes.
And then I had my own machine for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then Don Harcourt was in on that too. And then I got out of that and Tim offered me a job flying. And I flew for him for 2 or 3 years, and then James Innes offered me a job there. And I went with him just because I was offered part of the business. And
was that Helicorp?
Yeah, and Marty was flying it too, which was another attraction, because Marty and I were great mates, and as well as brothers, of course. But unfortunately, after a couple of years, the deer price dropped from about $2,500 to $500.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
it was. I had a few bucks in a 500 with Singer, not with Singer, with Tucky. Yeah. And it didn't. We didn't wash up too well, but the prices dropped almost. It felt like it was overnight.
Yeah. It was a big blow to a lot of people, but it was great while it was going.
Yeah, Marty flew me over to Holton Station at one stage, and it was one of the best trips I've ever had personally. Yeah. Along the sea, following thousands of seals, and then up over the top of the Mackenzie country with a complete blanket. You couldn't see where Holden Station was. Yeah. I remember a hole opened up, and we went down, spiralling through this hole. I was hanging on for grim death. Sorry. Now we should mention Marty, that a tragic event there when Marty flew into the power lines.
It was just terribly tragic. He was one of the biggest characters ever, and of course, my brother and everyone loved him, and he was a fantastic operator. Got big numbers of deer, and shot with me for a couple of years as well before he went flying. Yeah,
it's incredible. Once again, that very close to home.
Well, he's been dead 32 years now. He would have been 60 now. He was 28 when he got killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day who come down through some fog in the Buller Gorge. He knew there was 2 lines across.
Yeah.
And the lines, it was a wee bit foggy, and the lines appeared under his skids as he went through them. And they landed on the riverbed, and the pilot spared.
Yeah.
So these things happen, unfortunately. Now tell me, you've as a pilot, you've flown all around the world.
Yeah, I've flown in 9 different countries now, and of course, it's been a great experience.
So you've flown in 9 different countries.
Yeah.
I've made a bit of a list here. I've got you've actually flown up the Matterhorn in Switzerland.
Yeah.
How'd you get onto that gig?
Well, Jack's my ex-wife. She was Swiss, so that allowed me to work in Switzerland.
Right.
But I had to learn some Schweizerdeutsch. I'm still learning to speak bloody English.
Yeah, takes a bit, doesn't it? What about you've flown in Alaska?
Hmm?
You've flown in Alaska?
Yeah, flown in Alaska, Papua New Guinea, South Africa, the Yemen, Venezuela.
Wow.
States, yeah.
So, you've flown in 9 or 10 different countries, and you're one of a handful in New Zealand that has a 100% safety record.
Yeah. I don't know. There's probably only a couple of us in the deer industry that went right through. I actually went right through as a shooter and a pilot without an accident.
Wow.
Or any damage to anything.
Well,
So,
someone was looking after you.
yeah, I think it was, a lot of it was the shooting, learning all the safety stuff around helicopters as a shooter and watching everything, and having a second set of eyes on everything. And when I started flying, if someone wasn't doing exactly the same thing, they got out of the tongue up. It was like, I'm really strict on that, and I think that's a big thing. It's just making sure there's 2 sets of eyes on everything.
Did you have anyone that shot for you that was outstanding?
I've had a few good shooters. I mean, as far as net gunning goes.
Net gunning, and also being aware of the things that they can do to really stuff things up.
Oh yeah, well, I've had, Marty was good, of course.
What was Singer like? Did you shoot with him?
John Singer's one of the best. John's fantastic. He's got the same philosophy as me around helicopters. He's watching everything, and he's a great shot and calm, everything like that. You don't want someone that's all excitable.
And I've heard people say that when John sees something that's not right, you get to know real quick.
Yeah.
Which is what you need, isn't it?
Exactly. Don Gregg, they call him Don Duck. He was, the greatest net gunner out. He had a big long gun. He could net to anywhere and hardly ever miss. So, he sort of knew deer. He had an instinct as well to where to find them and that sort of thing.
When you look at some of the photography from back in those late 70s, 80s, you wonder how people never broke their bones when they got off the choppers.
Oh, we just sort of rolled, but the worst was when I was shooting out of the heller and we were shooting slips in that tight places. We had to jump like, I don't know, 3 meters or so, 4 meters out, and sometimes I got a slip and you just sort of roll when you're at the ground.
So you made the decision to clearly come back to New Zealand, back home.
Yeah.
And what was the driving? What drove you to do that?
Well, you know what? I thought you're getting to a certain age where, I had a lot of friends that I worked with that were 10 years older than me or more.
Yeah.
And they start dying off, and you think, well, hell, if I don't get home and spend time with the family and friends, then, in 10 years' time, they're not going to be here anymore, a lot of them.
And we'll both be a bit older in 10 years from now.
Yeah, I just love being back and seeing old friends, and I just couldn't make friends the same in the States. It's just a different, nice people.
Yeah.
But I can go into a pub or anything here or a cafe and meet someone and start up a conversation, and it's easy to make friends because we're on the same wavelength.
Well, I think it's fair to say that you're pretty well known to, even though you've been away. Anybody who flies anything has heard the name Patrick Nolan. They might not have met you, but they've all heard the name.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fantastic. Tell me, I've got a note here. Arawatta Bill. What was Arawatta Bill? He was a Nolan?
No.
Well, who was Arawatta Bill?
Oh boy,
Does that go back too far?
You'd have to. I forget his second name now, but no, he was a gold prospector. And he was a bit of a hermit.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about.
I just saw it. I saw it when I was doing a bit of research for this interview. I thought I must ask you about that.
Yeah.
Now, here's an easy question. How old were you when you started dating?
I was pretty shy for a while.
Yeah.
Probably about 17, something like that.
And in Haast?
Yeah.
So there wouldn't have been a lot of eligible young ladies in Haast, would there?
No, not a lot. No.
Do you remember you met your grandparents?
Yeah. Well, just my grandfather, not
So-
my grandmother. She died years before I was born. But Denny Nolan, I think he died when I was about 5.
And so, can you remember anything he said, or
Not what he said. I can remember him because we were living down in the front of the homestead, and him and some of the other, quite a few of the others were just living down the back. But no, I can still remember flying in the Dominic, by the way, which makes me feel real old.
Oh, you've got to be. You're getting as old as Kerry Eagling.
I'm not as old as Kerry. But no, but the thing is, I think I was probably about 5, and I can still.
And did the Dominic land on the beach?
No, it was landing at the house.
At the airfield?
Yeah.
Okay. What, Patrick, during your lifetime, what do you consider the most important inventions that you've seen that have helped your life?
Oh, well, I mean, my whole life's revolved around shooting and flying helicopters, really.
Yep.
And I'm still flying, and I just live for it. I enjoy it like the first day I started. So I don't know what the hell I'd do if I wasn't doing that.
So what sort of things have occurred that, I guess the introduction of the turbines, was that significant or?
Oh, well, of course the turbines have been around for a little bit when I started flying.
Yep.
Mel Kane got the first one on venison recovery, and that would have been about 66 or something like that.
Oh, so right back then.
And that was on a C-18, which is a really underpowered thing, and it was like,
Yep.
it looked like a spaceship to us, and we thought it was the greatest.
Right.
But then the next one after that was Southwest Helicopters. Ron Connell was the next one to bring them in, and a really good friend of mine, Eddie McGregor, was sort of the guru on them then. He taught, when Alpine eventually got them, he was the one that sort of showed them how to fly them.
Right.
And Tim's 82, 83 next birthday.
Isn't it amazing that Tim's still up and running?
Yeah, I mean, Tim's got to be the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. He's just amazing. And
Can you? We'll come back to Tim, but can you remember the first time that you saw a refrigerator? Did you always have one?
oh no, well, of course we had one in the house.
Yeah.
We had the freezer and that. I think we had a fridge. We must have a fridge, but we had a big deep freezer.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to.
Yeah.
How's the world different today? If you're a young person today, how would it compare to when you're a young man?
Well, it's like today with all the electronics, like it's the same whether you're out in the country or the country. Children get more outside activities like hunting and working on the farm and the chooks and
Yeah.
whatever else, feeding out, that sort of thing. But it's sad to see in the towns and cities where when you and I were young, there's kids out playing on the street with their neighbours and up and biking around the street. Now you virtually don't see a kid because they're virtually all
They're all
inside.
doing the,
Yeah.
it's and there's the parents these days fear for the safety of their children, whereas our parents said first thing in the morning, make sure you're home by dark,
Yeah.
and that was about the limit of what occurred.
But I've got a 14-year-old, Ryan,
Yeah,
a son who was staying down with Nerily last year, and he's going to Dunstan High now, but I go shooting with him all the time, and he comes up on the helicopter, and I think there's no doubt he's going to fly.
I've met him a couple of times. He's a nice young fella.
Yeah,
He really is.
He's a really crack shot.
Is
He
he?
really can shoot it from anywhere type thing.
Did you, during the course of your life, which you must be halfway through it by now, did you come across someone who changed your direction, the course, the way you thought? Someone who you look back and go, well, I'm really glad I met that woman or that man.
Well, as I said, my idol when I was a kid was Tony Hawker, because he used to take me out hunting all the time and taught me a lot, and then he got killed in 1971.
Yep.
And I was devastated because I'd never had a close friend killed before, and took a bit of getting over that.
Was that an aircraft accident?
Yeah, he was flying for Alpine for Tim up the Roaring Valley and hit his tail rotor on something, and he tried to
fly out of it.
tried to fly out, and it just went up.
I remember seeing some of the photographs of the machine coming in with the coffin in the back.
Yeah.
It was a huge gathering of people.
And then his shooter, Peter Stevens, who was there with him, tried to get out. I think it was raining, and the chair was on the other side of the Roaring Valley on the roadside, and he tried to go hand over hand across, and he got halfway across and exhausted. And luckily there was a guy came along and let the chair over to him, and he probably mightn't have made it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, there's lots of stories, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's lots of stories. So, different angle. How would you describe your sense of humour?
Well, I like to think I'm witty. I love doing pranks still.
Oh no.
I've always been like that since I was a kid. It gets me in the shit sometimes.
Exactly. You'd have met a lot of famous because of the fact you're a pilot. You'd have met a number of famous people over the years.
Yeah. I've met a lot of different people. One thing I like to do is put everyone on the same level. If I'm working in the jungle, I treat the native the same as anyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone on this earth is the same level to me. No one's better than anyone else.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a place that is around the world that's the most peaceful, fantastic place where you just felt fantastic? Have you ever come across anywhere like that?
Well, of course, Alaska's beautiful and unique. The thing about North America is all the different beautiful animals, and I did a lot of animal capture over there, and that was a really great experience. With the wolves and bison and everything else.
And of course, they're all animals that if you get it wrong, they'll eat you.
Yeah, well, the old bears, you got to be careful with them.
Is there anything that you ever wanted to do that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done yet?
Not really. Sometimes I wish I was a fighter pilot. You see those jets, and that would have been a nice experience.
Yeah,
but I did get to go up in a Mustang when Tim had them.
Oh, so you've been on one?
I didn't fly it. I
No.
was just a passenger.
What was it like?
Amazing. Yeah, fantastic.
Wow. And Tim flew?
No, No, I've been on the booze all night, and I think he deliberately organised it for 8 a.m.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was just about green by the time he finished doing rolls and loops and God knows what.
If you've learnt a lesson in your life, or a lesson, we have a lot of people that watch these videos, and there'll be roughly 300,000 who will follow this series. If you had something that you've learnt in your lifetime that you could convey to the young ones, don't worry about us old fellas, because what would the lesson be?
Well, one big lesson is you have to take everyone as you find them. I've often heard people run someone down and say someone's an arsehole or this or that and the other thing. And I've learned over the years just you have to take people at face value and then you decide yourself.
Make your own mind up.
Yeah.
That's it.
So.
And just finally, what do you know today about leading a happy, successful life that you didn't know at 20?
Well, I just live for each day. I don't really plan anything. I just like enjoying each day. Something comes up that's going to happen next week, I make a decision, and like going fishing down in Jackson's Bay or whatever, I just go.
Go and do it.
I don't sit there and some people do the same job day in, day out, and then they plan a month or two ahead to do something.
Pretty hard to do on the coast, isn't
it? Yeah. But I have been flying over here for the last couple of years as Ranger helicopters. Simon Bassett Smith, he's based out of West Melbourne and got quite a bit of work with opossum monitoring, that sort of thing. But it has been pretty disappointing in some aspects that we haven't been utilised by some of the bigger agencies.
Yeah, that's always a challenge, isn't it?
It is.
Same with civil defence.
Yeah.
Same with right across and I'm not sure what the answer is there, but
no, I think that because in the old days with the Forest Service, I used to do a lot of the work. We used to do the search and rescue work. Did a lot of the marijuana for the cops.
Oh yeah.
I think I was one of the first to do that, certainly on the coast anyway. In those days we just put someone on the end of the chain and stop. These days health and safety would have a bloody fit.
Yeah, you've got to.
But no, it's just very hard to, when you've been away a long time to break it.
Get your foot back in the door.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Garden of Eden. I've seen the footage that you took up there. The place is absolutely beautiful.
It's really beautiful. We started that off last year, and just due to different circumstances, mainly to the fact that just as I was starting it, we got a lot of work, and I only had me and one helicopter, so I had to go away and.
Oh, okay.
And so that sort of torpedoed a lot. If you're going to advertise it and start up, you have to be there all the time.
Yeah.
And it's tourist season anyway. So, but it's definitely got a lot of potential.
And so, it's really quick from Harry.
Yeah, we're only looking like 25-minute return.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually nicer than the glaciers.
I took some of the footage and showed it to a Chinese company that I've had a lot to do with, and they were just staggered. They couldn't believe it was so close to a centre, and quite amazing.
Oh yeah. But Harrier is a nice little town and really great locals and that. So I've spent a bit of time down there. And
yeah, you got the pub there. The pub's the centre of most communities.
It is.
And you lose it, like Watara's lost their pub.
Yeah.
And it takes a piece out of the community.
Well, yeah, it's sad with Watara. It's really tragic in a way that the locals don't have that social place to go.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Wayne Nolan down there the other day, and he said there used to be 37 farmers there, now there's 13.
Yeah.
And basically, there's not the numbers, and there's nothing for the young people much when they grow up. They've got to go elsewhere.
And they'll get grumpy because the excitement's gone.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to keep it there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, look, Coasters, I'm with Patrick Nolan, and this will be played as a series. It'll be once a week. It'll go for 7 weeks, and you'll be able to follow it on the Coasters Club. You'll see the details coming up. You'll also be able to go onto our YouTube channel and watch the full interview after the Facebook series is completed, and you'll also be able to hook into the local museum, and a copy of this video or this interview will be registered with the museum. So for all of your references, you just type in Patrick Nolan, a coaster, and he'll come up in all sorts of places by the time this is published. Patrick, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. And I've always wanted to sit down and have a chat, but you've always been so busy, and so have I.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Bruce.
We'll catch you later.
See you, bye.